Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another PoE video. I wanted to take a few moments out of your time to get a little PSA. There's a lot of people coming over from PoE 2 and people who has never played any PoE game that might be checking out the PoE new expansion, Seekers of the Atlas 3.26. However, there's a lot of things here when it comes to minion stuff, and that's the topic I want to cover, as minions can be a bit daunting. It's very different in PoE 1 than it is in PoE 2. So I just wanted to give you some tips and tricks to check around things and how you can navigate and get answers. You can always post some questions in my stream when I'm live when it comes to these things. You check out my build guide footage. I will say that when it comes to PoE 1 for the new guys coming in for PoE 2, that unlike PoE 2, that is very friendly to have for newer players to actually just go in and do whatever you feel like. It's more punishing if you make mistakes early on, if you don't know what you're doing in PoE 1. So my general recommendation is to actually follow a build guide when it comes to PoE 1. Learn the ropes, get a hold of it, and try to learn the basics and take the steps from there. Watch some streams, watch some videos, follow a guide, maybe my guide or someone else's, doesn't matter, but that is my general recommendation. Minions are a bit special, so I'm going to jump into the game and show you a couple of important things that it comes to summoning at minions that you might be a little bit, I don't know, scared of, I guess, because it's very different than PoE 2. Let's crack into it. Before I do that, I do these videos all the time, and I can't do it without you guys supporting the channel, so I appreciate that very much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I would appreciate that tons. Hit the like button and leave a comment down below what you think of this, and I'll see you guys in the stream later on. Let's continue on with the video. Now, in Path of Exile, there's a couple of things to point out, such as there's a Desecrate, which is a skill that allows you to summon corpses. If you check the top right corner, you can hold down the A key to see the name of the corpses that you're hovering your mouse over, and you can change this in the settings to have it always enabled, which is what I have right now. This is very important when it comes to summoning specters, because specters, as you can see, I can only have 3 specters. They are summoned from a corpse. I don't remember what I had on this specific build, but if I hover over a pale seraphim and I right-click my summon specter on that one, it will raise that specter up from the dead and now become a minion. I can summon another 3 of these, so 3 in total, and then I can see I have 3 specters. Now I will remove raise specter from my action bar so I don't accidentally fuck it up. And that is by over-summoning and removing them. There's some other specters in Path of Exile 1 called Corpse Specters from Ritual Mechanic. Sweet Jesus. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna bother finding them. I forgot this is in Standard League. Holy stabs. God damn. Anyways, it is an itemized version of a corpse, which shows up in your... Okay, fuck it. It shows up as an item in your inventory, which you will right-click and then spawn the corpse on the ground. They will not show up in your Desecrate table, so when you want to summon them, you have to right-click that item, then use a Raise Spectre to summon them, and then they're in your army. If they die, you have to buy another one of those corpses, so be careful with that. And when I say be careful, most minion builds utilizes some sort of trigger effect, such as the pale blue, turquoise, whatever color craft here. This is a bench craft from the crafting bench. And it makes it so that spells, when I use a skill, I will trigger socket the spells in order of socket 1, 2, 3. The top one is socket 1, which is not triggered because it's an aura. And socket number 2 is Desecrate. So if I put a corpse down and then had Raise Spectre, the first thing that would happen is this would then trigger and cast corpses on top of the corpse that I'm supposed to summon. And if I'm not paying attention and click again, we usually run an offering in here which consumes corpses. This can consume the itemized corpse. So when you're doing something like this, if you want to be very careful when you're summoning these things, unsocket these gems, click the corpse, summon your specter, and then you can put these things back in. It's a very common mistake, and I just want to point it out. Right now, I know that one of the more popular builds is going to be played in 3.26 is going to have a lower body version using Flesh Crafter. I want to point this out for minions as well. The minions is going to convert 2% of their maximum life if they're for each 1% of chaos resistance that they have. So when you're using a Flesh Crafter, I'm going to equip this and show you. Wait, my age. Oh, might have killed my age either. So if I summon something like a Stone Golem, as you can see, my Stone Golem stands up. He's here. He's fine. However, if I use a minion that has more than 50% chaos resistance, or if I give them chaos resistance from my gear or jewels, So that's just the Chaos Golem, which I believe has 65%. I think it's 65% Chaos Resistance. With the Fleshcrafter equipped, he will convert more than 100% of his life into Energy Shield, and therefore he has no life. So if I try to summon him, as you can see, he just immediately died. I'll try to summon him here on the left, and you'll see it again. He just immediately dies. So just keep that in mind, especially when it comes to Animate Guardians, to be a little careful when you're using a Fleshcrafter. So there's some minor tips and tricks about that. I'm not spending, an hour, 2 hours going through everything in this video. I wanted to show you guys some of the more important things that can be moments of frustration for new and newer players. And I also wanted to showcase the fact that many years ago, this was a lot harder to do. They made a lot of these things a lot easier. For example, my specters are dead, but since I already had them summoned at one point for this character, they exist in my Desecrate table, which means that when I cast Desecrate, as you can see, I can find Pale Seraphim. I actually see some of my old specters are using this character in here as well. So as long as you have them summoned, even if your specters die, you can just Desecrate them again, unless it is a ritual itemized corpse specter. The other thing I wanted to showcase is that many years ago, when this was way harder, I decided to create a community global channel. Essentially, in game, if you type / in lowercase letters, type global space 6666, not 666. We tried that. Apparently, that is a unofficial French community channel what we completely invaded, and I'm so sorry that we did that many years ago. So we moved our channel to 6666. In here, you say hi, and you can say something like, hey, I'm looking for Forge Frostbearer. And you can just type that. If someone has a Forge Frostbearer Spectre, you're then able to get someone to invite you. You can go to their hideouts and summon these specters from their area by desecrating in their zone. So this is an effective way to share specters with one another. I'm always in this global channel, more or less. Have any questions, ask me, ask in the global channel. You can all come to my stream to ask questions as well. We'll do everything we can to help you out. Another thing to point out is that I do have a guide hub. All of this is linked in the descriptions below. We are currently, at the time of this recording, actually, myself and my team, we're working on updating all of these guides, being ready for 3.26 launch. And these guides covers everything in detail. We could take a quick look at how a guide looks for the mage skeletons, for example, which is what I'll be playing myself. There's some pages here. The first page is basically giving you a TLDR rundown of the builds that I have, and it also shows you the path of building links. Information about it. If there's a video that's showcased here as well, then there's a PoE links, and there's some information about these things, and you can pick these out. So for the veterans out there, you might just need the PoE. Just snag that and go, you're fine. And here's some information when it comes to the actual leveling of the mage skeleton. Information on how to do that. We do have a leveling guide, which is for necromancers that's using absolution, moving into using skeleton archers once you have these two items. And then after that, you can switch into mage skeletons. That's how this build will be played. And if you do want to have more detailed information outside of this, at the very top, there's some buttons in the guide as well. You can check these pages. So for example, I can check PoE, passive skill tree, and gem links. This will cover everything in detail if you don't like using Path of Building, which I'd recommend learning for Path of Exile in general. But you can then check out all the details of the skills. You can go to gear, jewels, and flask, which will cover gear, modifier priority, and all of these things will be covered in detail in written version. This is something that we do with every single one of my build guides in full detail. Obviously, this is a short page. And then we have Animate Guardian Specters with some information as well that you can go through and learn how to go through the entire game with these things. We're going to point that out. And again, I don't want to waste you guys too much. So it's going to be a little bit of a short video with some quick TLDR bits of information regarding some tips and tricks that I think can be quite frustrating if you don't know going into the game. And again, I would strongly recommend checking out and following a build guide when you're starting off. If you're new to Path of Exile 1, again, we have tons of really good content creators out there. You may follow one of my guys, maybe someone else's, doesn't matter. Just make sure that the build guide you're following for League Start is either tagged as a League Starter or low budget, and somehow, I don't know how you're gonna verify it, but verify that the guide creator is a solid, trustworthy source of information, because there are some bad actors out there that says this is low budget and it's gonna cost an arm and a leg. So just stay safe out there. And again, I don't want to waste your time, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Hope you guys like this video. Let me know in the comments below if you like this kind of stuff. And again, hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe and keep rocking.